Thanks again to each and every one of you for joining us on the most memorable of Navy days. And without further delay, now hear this. Liberty Call!
Division 176.
Now I'm marching every day.
Hey guys, so I thought I would make a part 2 of after Navy graduation, basic training and what to expect when you're in Great Lakes. So my daughter graduated in April of 2025, and the way that my first video, and if you look back at my channel, so I made a video on what to expect leading up to the graduation. I've got a lot of questions on what to do after the graduation, like what the process is, what to expect, how many days of leave they get. And to be truth is every recruit is different. So at this point now, after graduation, they are officially sailors. Okay, so I'm going to now refer to them as sailors. So once they graduate, they're officially sailors. And this is just my experience. And she had a couple of friends who kind of had some similar situations, but a lot of them were different. Now, the day of graduation, I'll kind of give you like from graduation day, like what happened that day, and then what happened the weekend after that, because graduation always falls on a Thursday. So I attended the graduation that Thursday morning. The graduation lasted till about 11 a.m., 11:30, okay? After graduation, well, for starters, I couldn't find her in the there were so many sailors, and she's a little bit shorter than a lot of the other sailors, and they're all wearing the same uniform, so it's hard to tell because all the females are in a bun back and they have their hats on and they're just in full uniform. It was really hard for me to find her once they called Liberty Call, and I was a mess, okay? I was shaking, I was nervous, I hadn't seen her in months, and I was skimming through the crowd. I found her, finally. We had this huge hug, and it was so overwhelming, and not in a bad way, just tears of joy. You know, you haven't seen your child, your spouse, whomever, in so long, and the feeling that you get seeing them in that uniform for the first time is just absolutely amazing. And if you've been through this before, then you know you can relate. So obviously when we finally found each other, we hugged, we took some pictures. I took pictures of her and her sailor, you know, who she was in her division with. And after that, so I told her, I said, what's the next step? Because obviously they don't tell us, they tell them. So right after graduation, they have to go back to their command, their division, and sign out. They have to pack up all their belongings, and then they move them from one building to another building. So she just told me, okay, look, I got to go back and check out. Can you go wait at the next for me? And I'll be there as soon as I can. So at this point, they have their phones so they can text you and communicate with you, but still sometimes the service is a little bad in the buildings. We didn't have that problem when I was there. It was snowing and raining, so take an umbrella, check the weather. So it was raining. Right after that, we hugged, and she says, I'll text you as soon as I get my checkout. But the later that they go check out, the longer you're gonna wait, right? So I was like, okay, well, go check out, and I'm gonna go wait for you at the next, and I'll be there waiting for you. Like, it doesn't matter. So she left to go check out, start the checkout process. I kind of walked around the base for a little bit and just watching the other sailors marching around, singing, gave me an idea of what my daughter was doing out there, because they got still the recruits are out there marching and singing the cadences, and it was so amazing to see them sing. So emotional, so beautiful. And I was posting videos online on Facebook to the Facebook moms page of the Great Lakes, or spouses, right? Whoever you have that's in basic training, they're always asking for a division. So I try to get the division flag and record them singing so people could see their, their recruits. So by then it had been about 25-30 minutes. So I walked over to the next, which is just a short walk, maybe about 5 minutes. Now the base is crowded at this time because it's family day. All your families are there. I walked over to the next, and I had seen a couple of people that I had met from the dinner that we had, the Navy dinner, family dinner. They were telling me that they were going into the next, and they were telling them that they cannot go into the next without their sailor present. Now, it was so cold outside, so a lot of the families wanted to go in and kind of warm up inside the next, but they were not letting anybody into the next without your recruit present. So I didn't try to go in just because I heard everybody else, pretty much they were getting kicked out. And so I waited outside. I want to say I waited a total about maybe an hour. And about an hour later, she texted me and says, okay, I'm coming, but I have to walk all the way from the other side of base. So just bear with me, I'm coming. And I was patient. I was like, do not worry, take your time. I am here, I'm waiting. Even though it was freezing cold. But I waited for her, and I saw her coming from a distance. Poor baby had her sea bag on, because everything has to fit in their sea bag and a box. They give them like a regular moving cardboard box, and she had all her stuff in there. So she also had her pictures, which thank God, right? Because I was so excited to see her pictures and have them in hand. So I had walked towards her to help her with some of her stuff that she had. So I walked to her, I got her box, and then we went into the next, and we got just a couple of things, just like some snacks and some waters and stuff. After that, we left, and they told us that the recruits, the sailors, have to be back by 9 p.m., no later. And if you're there at 9 o'clock, you're late. So we kept our day kind of short since it was already about 1 p.m. We went to go eat at Lou Malnati's, and we had some pizza. One thing that I found really strange is that all the Lou Malnati's in the area, in like the Great Lakes area, are just walk-in, like takeout. There's not really a sit-down restaurant anywhere, so you have to get there and order your pizza, wait, and then take it to go. Being that we were kind of far from the hotel at this point, because we really just wanted to sit down somewhere and eat and spend some time together. But the whole time we were in the car, because there was no sit-down restaurant at Lou Malnati's, and honestly, that's all we wanted to do was try pizza for the first time. We had never had deep dish pizza, so we ate it in the car. It was delicious, okay, so highly recommended. I do recommend that if you're going to try Lou Malnati's pizza, call ahead and order your pizza, because we had to wait about 45 minutes to 55 minutes for them to make it, because they make it fresh, which is nothing wrong with that. But I wish I would have known that before, because I would have called it in and then gone to pick up the pizza, and then we could have gone back to the hotel and had a nice sit down, but we ended up, after that, we went to Target. She wanted to restock on makeup. All her makeup that she had, well, if you don't know, so my daughter got injured in basic training. So she was actually there for a long time, longer than most. She was there for 7 months because she went through rehab. So all of her makeup had just been sitting in a bag in the storage box that they give them on day one. So a lot of it was just like expired. It got old. It was freezing. So we threw that out and restocked her on her makeup. So we spent some time at Target. Then we went back to the hotel and she kind of unpacked a little bit and just some stuff that she had from day one and some other stuff that she did not want to take with her to A school. So I went to Ross and I had gotten a small suitcase to take home whatever she didn't want to take because I had packed my suitcase to the T. So if I would have known that, I would have had more space, but not a big deal. I got a second suitcase and she had just some clothes and just stuff that she's accumulated through basic training. And I took all that stuff with me and I put it in a suitcase just to kind of give her some space because at that point, she was supposed to transfer to Pensacola for her A school for about 2 weeks and then she was going to come home on leave. So that was the plan. That was what we were told, or she was told. So after we just kind of spent a little bit of time together, I started heading back to the base at 7 p.m. because I wanted to be sure that we were not late. I wanted to be sure that we were at the right place because we were given an address to drop her off at. So where we picked her up and left the base is not the same place where you drop them off. You have to go to around the corner, and I believe it was like the City Hall area, but it's a different gate on the other side of the base that now they have to go back into check-in, and that's going to be like their new area where they stay in until they go off to A school. So the address that I had put in the GPS, oh my God, it had taken me somewhere else. I don't even know. It was the same exact address as the base and the gate. It was just an address, but the zip code was different. And that was my mistake. I didn't even notice. And since I'm not from Great Lakes, it was, I had to use the GPS. But anyway, we caught it about halfway through because I'm like, this route does not look like where I'm supposed to be. I don't know. It does not look right. So I pulled over and I'm like, let me go. Let me just put in Great Lakes basic training wherever I had picked her up at. And I'm like, I'm just going to check there and see, like, find out where I need to drop her off at. So she's not walking because they're in their blues and they're in their navy blues and those shoes don't have insoles in them. So their feet are hurting. They've been walking all day. They're tired. So we ended up making it back, oh my God, so close to 9. And I was so scared because, I mean, they'll get in trouble, right? And you can't go in there like school and say, it's my fault, I was the one that did it. No, their chief does not care. They're the ones that get in trouble. Luckily, we made it on time, but when we first got there, I pulled into a first gate and I said, I need to find out where I have to drop her off at. She just graduated today and they get this all the time. There was cars behind us asking the same question and they were all making us turn around because they said you have to go all the way around the base and find like gate, whatever the gate was, and pull in through there. But the way that he explained it was like, you take a left, you take a right, you go around a squiggly road, and then you see a big building and you turn in there. And I was like, huh, what? So make sure that you get there with time to drop them off and find out exactly which gate they're supposed to return at, right? So he ended up telling us, he turned around and we went down, turned left, turned right, down the squiggly road, saw the building, went in there, and we asked the guards there, and the guard confirmed that that was in fact the gate that she needed to be at. So they let us through, check your ID, make sure you have your ID with you, make sure you have your graduation tickets, because they did ask for our graduation tickets when we attended. So we went through and I dropped her off. So dropped her off Thursday night, watching her walk away. I still remember it. I was so beautiful just watching her in her uniform with her seat back on, my baby. So Friday is leisure day, right? So I can go pick her up. She's in her peanut butter uniform, and she had told me, I don't know what time they're gonna let us, release us. So I'll text you in the morning and let you know and what time to come pick her up. So at this point, I had marked the gate on where to pick her up and everything. So I think it was like 11. Yeah, it was about 11:30 when I was finally able to go pick her up. Now this is just my experience. It could be earlier for you, it could be later for you, but kind of keep that date open. Unfortunately, I had already expected to be downtown in Chicago by 11, so I had made a reservation to go up on the tower, and I had to cancel it last minute. I didn't get a refund. It was a whole big thing, whatever. Don't matter. So now I know, don't make any kind of reservations because anything could happen. So just kind of keep that date open. So when she was finally ready to get picked up, I went and picked her up, and she actually told me to meet her at a different entrance because it was easier for her to walk there, and so that way I didn't have to come in and all of that. So I just kind of swooped through base, and she was waiting for me outside the gate. So I just picked her up, and then we picked up McDonald's and then took the drive into Chicago. We spent the day in Chicago, and it was so much fun because it was our first time in Chicago, both of us, downtown, and it was a beautiful day. It was still chilly, and we got to explore Chicago. We went shopping. She bought shoes and jackets and headphones, and just kind of getting herself prepared for the transfer of A school. So at this point, I am expecting to fly back home out of Chicago the next day, which is Saturday, because we were told that they only have like a day and a half to spend with family, and then they got to transfer over back into A school, wherever their A school was. So my daughter was just happened to be transferring to Pensacola. So she had way last minute, they told her that she could have the entire weekend of leave, overnight, Liberty, and everything. So I immediately was like, yes, yes, yes. I haven't seen her in so long. So I ended up, thank God for the hotel that we were in, because everybody was checking out already. Everybody's getting ready to go home. Now this isn't common, I don't think. Most of the sailors do transfer out the next day or Saturday, depending on their rate, depending on a number of reasons. So I ended up extending my hotel till Sunday because she didn't have to be back till Sunday, and I moved my flight till Sunday. So I paid the extra night for the hotel. Well, actually, yes. So Saturday into Sunday, because I was supposed to check out Saturday, leave Saturday. I extended it till Sunday, and I switched my flight over. Luckily, I didn't have to pay anything extra for the flight. For the hotel, I just paid an extra night. No problem there. But it was great because now we get to spend the whole weekend together. So we knew that we could stay out late Friday night, so we stayed in Chicago till late and just explored. Mind you, she was in her peanut butter uniform. So she went shopping to get extra clothes, and then I had actually had some extra pajamas for her to wear and everything, but we had bought some extra stuff for her just so she could have civilian clothes when she is in A school and she leaves base for whatever reason. If they want to go out to dinner with her friends or whatever, she has clothes. So we ended up shopping. We stayed late out Friday night. Not too late because again, she's in her peanut butter uniform and her feet were hurting so much. And it's not like she can put on her tennis shoes, her new tennis shoes that she bought. She has to stay in uniform the entire time. I think that first day of us being out in her uniform was so emotional for me as a parent, as even if you're a wife, husband, father, whatever. Because so many people were stopping us on the streets of Chicago and thanking her for her service, and it was just such an amazing experience, And it's hard to explain, but you'll get there. You will get there, and you will understand. I promise you. I promise you. So we ended up going back to the hotel, and we slept so good. She slept so good. She said it feels so weird sleeping in a bed because they've been in their barracks and sharing restrooms and showers and all that for months. She got to take her long hot shower as long as she wanted to. catch up on the news, catch up with her friends on the phone, social media, whatever. And then the next day we planned to go back down to Chicago, but this time she was going to be in her civilian clothes. So Saturday morning we get up. We don't get up too early, but we got up, we went and had breakfast, and then we went back down to Chicago and we explored Chicago. And now she's in her civilian clothes and her new tennis shoes. So we were all over Chicago, walking around, having such a great time. And we shopped some more. We went to the Nutella. We went to, there was a bunch of places we just wanted to go see and explore. So we did. It was a fun Saturday day. She started feeling a little sick around Saturday, and here's where we kind of hit a little bump, is because she started getting like a sore throat. And I was like, well, I can get you antibiotics, whatever. Like, I'll call the doctor, I tell a doc, whatever. And she was like, no, because they might drug test you when they come back, just because, I don't know, other people, I guess, go crazy after basic. So we ended up just giving her some cough drops, and I think I got her like some Tylenol or something, but they were very specific on what they can take. At this point now, when they're sick, they got to actually go to the medic on base. It's free for them, but it's all in their records, right? So I got her just the basics from Walmart. There was a Walmart right across the street from our hotel at the Holiday Inn. But it was such an amazing time, and so last minute. Like the Navy, I love and respect the Navy, but boy, do they make you wait, and they do not give you a heads up on a lot of stuff. But that's okay, because at this point I knew that she was going to go to A school after, right? So we spent all day in Chicago Saturday. Sunday, my flight was still kind of early in the day. Now I'm flying from Chicago back into Houston. And you know, it was just, I didn't want to get home too late because I had work Monday. And then she had to be back a certain time too. So we got up, we went to go have breakfast at Denny's, and then I went and dropped her off. Okay, so I wasn't sure when I was going to see her again, because the whole A school stuff, like it could be 2 weeks, or I had another friend who was in A school, and when they got to Pensacola, they put them on hold for about 4 weeks, and their training did not start until after the 4 weeks. So they were just waiting in Pensacola. So I had that in my mind, like, okay, this is how it works in the Navy. Like anything could happen, anything could change at any given moment's notice. So you just gotta kind of roll with the waves, you know, the waves of the Navy. So I dropped her off Sunday. We said our goodbyes, or see you laters. And then that was it. I got on my flight and flew home. Now kind of getting into the little bit of the A school. So she had got put on hold along with like 10 other people in her division who had just graduated. Now this is just her division. That's not to say like all the other divisions out there. They were just saying, we're just gonna put everybody on hold for now, whatever. I don't even remember what her reason was. I don't even think they even gave her a reason. They were just like, you're on hold and we'll tell you when you're gonna fly out. So she ended up staying in Chicago for another 4 weeks. And the whole time that she was in Chicago, they make them work. So she was actually working in Chicago, just doing like different jobs here and there with some of the other females from her division. And they were just kind of, I think they were picking, like transporting people or something like that, like recruits. So fast forward through the 4 weeks, they finally sent her to Pensacola. And again, it was like, Diaz, you're flying out today, this afternoon to Pensacola, or tomorrow morning, get your stuff ready and pack up and you're leaving. And that was it. So then she transferred over to Pensacola. So now I had to wait another few weeks before I could see her. So by now it's already been over a month, right? So she's in A school in Pensacola. And when she got there, she did her A school, but she still didn't even get to come home on leave yet. So at this point, we know that she's going to be PCSing to Tokyo, to Japan. That's where she's going to be stationed at for the next 2 years. So we were just waiting, right? They were like, we are going to just probably not get any leave home. You're just going to go straight to Japan. And I was like, what? Like, it was just panic mode, right? And we couldn't do anything. We just had to wait until they gave her the okay, either you can go home on leave or you got to go straight to Japan because they need you. So we waited, I think, another few weeks. I think she may have been in Pensacola for a total about 3 to 4 weeks. And then she just called me one day and says, Mom, I get to come home on leave. And I'm like, great, when? And she's like, tomorrow. And I'm just like, what? So last minute, we're scrambling, trying to get a flight, and I'm trying to get a time so she can take an Uber to the airport in Pensacola. And they haven't given her a time. They just said, whenever we're done checking you out tomorrow, then you can leave. So mind you, I'm in Houston. Pensacola is about 7-hour drive. So we ended up deciding that I was just going to go drive to Pensacola, pick her up, and then come back. On the way back, we were going to stop in New Orleans and then just have like a little mother-daughter weekend or like day in New Orleans and then come home, right? Because it's a long drive. So I ended up going and picking her up. When she was finally ready to leave, when they finally checked her out, Pensacola out of A school, it was about 1 p.m. So I had my ETA there was like 1:32 p.m. So it was kind of like right at the right time. I didn't know what to expect. So luckily, she just had to wait like 30, 40 minutes for me until I got there to pick her up. We came home on leave. We stopped in New Orleans. We had such a great time in New Orleans. And then we came home to Houston, and then so her little brother had no idea, and her big brother, they had no idea that she was coming home. So we surprised them, and she was in her uniform, and it was just so beautiful. You see these videos online, and it's emotional when you're watching a video. Imagine going through it. It is very, very heart-wrenching, beautiful moment though. So she ended up staying home for, I think it was 12 days. And then I got her plane ticket back to Pensacola. So she had to fly back after her leave was over, back to Pensacola. And then I think she was in Pensacola for about a day or two. And then they flew over to Japan. So she's been in Japan since then, since July of 2025. At the end of July she left. So it'll be a year in the summer of 2026. Yeah, so almost a year. I mean, we're in February, right? So she's been there for a few months and she loves it. Japan is such a great place to be stationed at. And I've heard great things about Japan from other sailors. So yeah. So that was the experience from graduation day onward. And then on to A school, and then PCSing to Japan. So if you have any questions, let me know. I hope this video helps you. I'm very grateful for everybody who reached out for the first video and had questions or that I helped. I'm so happy that I was able to help you. I had so many questions coming into this, especially for the first time being a Navy mom, for the first time not knowing what to expect, what the experience was like. So going through this, I hope that I can help somebody out there who was just as lost as I was. And I'm so happy that you're going through this experience. I went through it, and now my daughter is stationed overseas and she is kicking butt. So let me know if you want to know anything else. Leave some comments. If you have any questions, let me know. Happy to help. Bye.
I've seen you grow, I've seen you change, I've seen you push through, I've seen you be brave. And I just wanna say that I'm so proud of you. I think that you're amazing. I think that you have so much to offer to the world, so much to offer to the world.
Go to boot camp.
And you are a fighter.